G'day everyone. Thought it might be interesting to see if I can record any difference between a couple of cables I've got. I've got a pretty expensive lava cable which was about $60, and I've got a cheaper Squire cable which I think was $15 or $20. The Squire cable is 6 meters long and the lava cable's 4.5 approximately, and I measured the resistance of both, and the Squire was about 0.9, 0.8 of an ohm, and the lava cable was about 0.7. So there wasn't really much difference in the resistance either. So to start off with, I'm just going to record a chord on the looper of the delay and send it to the amp, and then I'm just going to swap the cables at the back of the timeline and see if we can hear any difference. That's the only thing that's going to change. All the knobs, everything, the mic position, everything's going to stay exactly the same. I'm just going to change the cable, so we'll see if we can hear any difference. So I've already watched the comparison video myself, and I didn't really notice much difference. I'm not sure if it's my imagination, but the Squire cable seemed to have a slight bit more volume than the lava cable, surprisingly. I'm not quite sure how that works, but yeah, on the even with the waveform, it actually looks slightly bigger than the lava cable, so that was something that I wasn't expecting. As far as the sound goes though, I couldn't really tell much difference at all. So I'm going to do a similar test to last time, start with the lava cable and swap to the Squire, except this time I'm going to go directly from the guitar into the amp and see if we can hear any difference. So I just watched the looper sound samples back, the previous ones, and I've changed my mind. I don't think I can actually tell any difference, amplitude or tone or anything with those particular sound samples. Maybe when the signal goes into the delay pedal, it's changing the tone or something, but I couldn't tell any difference, amplitude, tone, nothing. They sound exactly the same to me. With the second test though, it was a little bit different. I think there's some slight difference between the two cables. It sounds like the Squire's got a bit more top end for some reason, but again, it's a very, very slight difference. If it's there, it could just be the way that I'm actually strumming the riff. It's that small of a difference to my ears. I mean, you probably notice more difference if you sneezed on your tone control on your guitar than you would with a different cable. So I don't think I'd buy one of these cables for that reason. If you do a lot of recording or you're a sound engineer, maybe you can hear a huge difference and you're thinking, what's this guy talking about? I can hear a massive difference between those two cables. But personally, I can't hear much difference at all. It's not all doom and gloom for the lava cable though, because I can tell you one thing that it's got going for it that really sets it apart from every other cable that I've got. It is very well made. The actual cable is incredibly thick. I mean, that's the Squire cable, and you can almost see it's not quite double, but it's a hell of a lot thicker than the Squire cable. If I just grab a patch cable, I mean, you can see that's just like, that's less than half the size. It's a really thick cable, and the connectors on the end are they're just quality. Like if you have one, you plug it in, you'll just feel it. It just goes into sockets so smoothly, and it's really solid and heavy on the end. So I just think this cable is going to last me for the next 20 years. It just feels like it's just that sort of a well-made product. So I would encourage you to get this sort of a cable or a jaw gel or whatever, more for the actual reliability and longevity of it than anything else. One thing I forgot to mention, actually, the cables I'm comparing are a sort of decent quality cable with a premium quality cable. You can get some bad quality cables, and if I tested one of those versus the lava cable, you'd probably hear a pretty big difference. It wouldn't be questionable. You wouldn't be so, oh, I think I can slightly hear it. It would be that poor quality cable sounds garbage. So just avoid getting those cables with really thin leads. I mean, if I put my finger near that, you can see how thick this one is. It's pretty thick. Just make sure that it's not sort of like a really thin wire, like almost like this power cable. Like that's probably a good example. Yeah, that thin's just too thin, and it's gonna suck your tone big time. So yeah, just make sure you get a decent quality cable at a minimum, and you should be right as far as that goes. So anyway, it was just a little idea I had today. I thought I'd just test those two cables, do a sound recording, and see if I could hear any difference. And yeah, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that there is a big difference between those cables. I'd be interested to see what everyone else thinks on the topic. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.